places, names, and things, but hey, she fits with it.
I'm through.
Hit dog on holler.
Okay, so you want a scenario?
Yes, please.
Who just made the number?
I know you can.
Sunday, time to reach the biz. 6 o'clock Sunday, you know what it is. 6 o'clock Sunday, time to reach the biz. 6 o'clock Sunday, you know what it is. It's 6 o'clock here, you know what it is. It's time to leash some, big we cut heads, doing weeds. You got an expert that really know the biz. She cut it, she's a touch pro. She'll really show you how to get it going. So tune in with me to Steve. Sunday, 6 to 7, it's a leave.
Woo! What's up, everybody? Hi, it's your girl Deidre Shante, and I am back after a 3-month vacation. I wasn't just on vacation; I was doing stuff. We was going to plays. We was at Warner Brothers. My team had me all over the place. But I'm delighted to be back in the studio with you guys on today. And today I have just an amazing, impactful show for you. We're going to be unleashing tips to help you thrive not only in your personal life, but in your business, in your relationship, and in your spiritual walk with Christ. So I'm super excited. My guest, oh my God, you are going to be entertained and enlightened on today. Thank you for tuning in. It's your girl Deidre Shante, and I'll be right back with our first segment on church. Okay.
Hallelujah.
What's wrong, Wanda? Nothing.
Oh, this the church house.
No, it's swallow shot. Look at the thing.
I'm watching that. Yeah, this ain't mine. You want one?
You can't be chewing on camera looking kind.
Look, you want one? You want one of yours? Don't give her one. Just give her one. How you? All right.
Don't spit.
Better get the chewing chair.
We see that man on the camera. Oh, don't even.
Make sure they're on.
Earpiece? Oh no.
Is that charging the battery?
Hang on to that. Those cordless mics, push them up, make sure they're on. Thank you.
So we not. That one is supposed to be loud. Hey guys, as promised, it's your girl Deidre Shante, and I'm on the couch with some amazing people. So right here, sir, if you were interested, introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mr. Dontez, love, a praise and worship leader and minister in church.
What else do you do, Dontez? You do other stuff too now. Come on.
Okay, I am a international hairstylist and educator, right up under Ms. D.
International life.
Yeah, all of the stuff. So.
Well, welcome, sir. This fine man beside me.
I am Dr. Robert L. Crawford II. I'm an author, a minister, and I also am an actor in Miss Deidre's play.
My daddy's home, but my husband ain't. But did you hear him say doctor? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this young, vibrant black man is a doctor. What is your doctorate in?
I have a doctorate of ministry with concentration leadership.
Bless the Lord, oh my soul, and all that is within me. And Pastor, bringing up the rear.
I'm Pastor Johnny Christine Anderson, soon to be the biggest in the gym project. So away.
Yes, welcome. I have gotten so many inboxes, and as you know, I'm a minister as well. But I just love people. So the biggest thing and biggest problem that people have is being hurt in church. One of the things about what we expect, we kind of expect certain things to happen certain places. But then we go into the church and we feel like it's not supposed to happen there. So Mr. Dontez, give me an incident. You've been in church probably since you were, what, a kid?
Yes, I've been in church for a very, very long time. And also being on both spectrums of the church, the leadership, and just being in the pews. I had a situation that occurred, I'll say, some years ago, because I've only been at a few churches, so if I give any specifics like that, you know, we'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Y'all know what y'all do.
But the biggest issue I had was abuse of authority. And people get in positions and they misuse the authority that's given to them. And particular situation, I was already licensed a minister when I got to the church, and one of the ministers felt that they were more superior, even though we held the same title. And it was like he talked down to me, and you know, it was very, very disrespectful. And you know, when you're young in ministry, a lot of times anything that's attached to feelings will get you off course. And that was something that kind of led me out of the church. And it was like, you know, I don't want to be a part of this if this is what the church is going to be. But, you know, God ain't allowed me to stay away that long.
So with that being said, so in abuse of authority, you felt like you were being demeaned with words or tone?
Just the way I was treated, period. It was a total disregard for me as, number one, a minister. Number two, as a human being. It was like you talked down to me as if I was beneath you. And, you know, the title minister, you know, is a servant. So, you know, the problem is we don't get educated on these positions that we become a part of. And we don't educate those that are around us. So what happens is we're put on this pedestal and we lose focus once we get the title because it's still a servant position.
Okay, so what do you feel about Dr. Crawford about abuse of authority?
First, let me apologize because that's not what ministry is supposed to look like. Ministry is here to help, to promote, to elevate. I think the problem we find a lot of times is people want authority. People who've been bullied tend to become pastors or police officers because they want people. Because you have to. Those are two things you respect in life. As a child, you're taught to respect your pastor, and you're taught to respect authority. And so people use that to say, respect me because of my title. And I'm a believer of, don't respect me because of my title. Respect me for my work that I do.
Absolutely.
I tell people all the time, don't call me elder unless you feel I've earned that title. I want my work to speak for me. And a lot of times, and I hate to say, when the economy went south, everybody got called by God. Because where are people always going to put their money? They're going to put their money into the church. They're going to tithe to God. And so everybody said, oh, the Lord called me to start a church because the economy went south. And in the famous words of Bishop Flunder, sometimes you just need a good nonprofit, a Christian nonprofit. You don't necessarily need to start a church. Because I think as a pastor, your job is, you're a doctor. No doctor goes to work and their job is to beat up on you because you're sick or ill. You're there to get healed. You're there for restoration. So that's, in my opinion, that's how I feel about it.
Okay, Pastor.
Well, the way I look at authority is that you have to work hard in order to be able to be a person to have authority. And the analogy you gave about the doctor is certainly a good one because of the mere fact you have to go to school and be trained to be a doctor. You have to study many years to be a doctor. So once people see that you've studied, that you've shown yourself approved, and then they will respect your authority, but you don't be nasty to anyone. Because if you're a person with authority, you've already learned and realized how you're supposed to talk to somebody. Like I tell my daughter all the time, you respect people in the White House and the crack house, you just have to know the difference.
So for me, I got mixed feelings about it. I feel like as a church, we have a responsibility So the body of Christ has a responsibility to the people. And a lot of times the body of Christ, as in the board, the pastor, the leadership, we place people in positions that they are not qualified or trained for. So it's like a whole bunch of hurt people hurting other people. So y'all excuse me, I like to be comfortable. So if gifts come without repentance, I can have a gift to preach, I can have a gift to lay hands, I can have a gift to sing. But that don't mean I was raised with morals and standards and that the Holy Ghost is living and controlling my tongue. So we as the church, because we are the church, have to hold people accountable. And I think we, as the leaderships of churches, we have to train people on how to be a leader, on how to effectively utilize your gifts. And that's why I feel like the church has failed. People are gonna be people. If you borderline ignorant, you're gonna be borderline ignorant in the church. If that's how you are, that's how you live your life, that's how you talk to your family, that's how you talk to your kids. Unless somebody tells you that that's not acceptable, how do you know?
But that's why people are turning away from the church. I had someone say this morning, people don't want church anymore. Yeah, they want church, but they want the church that cares about me. The church, when I have a problem, you're praying for me. The church, when I'm sick, you're visiting me in the hospital. I don't want a church where I'm thinking about spending $100,000 in the church, but you got people standing by the bus stop taking the bus to church. Or you got people who, when they leave church, they don't have money to eat. But the pastor can choose wherever he wants to eat. So the church, if the church becomes what it started in the past, the black church, it used to be a place where you went for all your political aspirations. The black church started that. The black church was the place you went when you didn't have any food. The black church was the place when Junior was in jail because you know the pastor was going to see him. We have become so theologically inclined that we're inclined to help no one.
I agree with you.
No holy but no earthly good.
No earthly good.
I think that the problem also lies in that you have pastors who don't know how to lead. And you can't train somebody to be a leader if you don't know how to be a leader. If you're a pastor just because you want the clout, you're in the wrong business. And to go with what you said, the black church is where every movement starts. Civil rights was the black church. Women's rights, black church. In the black church, we have to stop being so segregated and stop fighting. In our community, we fight over who you're my member. You're not a soul, you're a person, you're money attached to a tie. We need to be more Christian, we need to be more spiritual focused on people's souls and saving lives and building up lives. Because I agree with you, it's a sin to me when the pastor's driving a Maybach, but you got people walking to church.
And the ministry of it, the ministry of church is actually to empower God's people to go out into the earth and do it again. It is not, no pastor, no leader, and I will say it, and you can screenshot, tag it. Y'all don't own nobody. Y'all don't own these men. Everybody in your congregation belongs to God. Everybody.
But one thing I also need to, kind of put on the table, we talk about the leaders not educating the leaders, but a lot of times the leaders are not educating the congregation as well. So there's, levels to everything. When it comes to leadership, everybody wants to run to the pastor when it's something that a minister could have handled. And, whenever you get into those positions, everybody has to be educated. It can't just be one-sided.
And then I think the congregation, people come to church hurt. So I think their level of expectation is different. And a lot of times people are connected to the pastor, but they're not connected to the ministry. So if I have zero relationship with God for myself, my pastor becomes my God. That's my direct access. So as leaders and pastors, we have to start training people to have their own relationship with God. But the reason that's not done is because a lot of people are fearful. Once you get your relationship with God for yourself, what do you need me for? So that's where I feel like a lot of churches fall short of the mark. I don't want you just to feel God's presence on Sunday morning.
Right.
I need you to be able to carry that thing with you so that people can feel something different about you as you move around the earth.
Absolutely.
So that's my take on it.
But then, and also growth takes place, you know what I'm saying, when you're ready. You know, even for myself, I've been licensed to minister since 2008. So, you know, coming into a ministry where I was already licensed, I've already had my credentials. But when you're coming from another state, it's almost like you start at ground zero and you have to now prove to people who don't know, you have to prove everything all over again. And in a way, it's not fair because, you know what I'm saying, I put in my work, I put in my time, and I shouldn't have to redo it again. But I thank God for grace and I thank Him for mercy because, you know what I'm saying, despite religious tactics, there's always relationship goals. And with a relationship with God, you know what I'm saying, that's one of the things I love about my pastor. They teach about relationship with God. And if you don't get to know Him for yourself, somebody else can come feed you anything, and that's what you will, you know what I'm saying, thrive on week after week after week, and you wonder why you don't see growth. You know what I'm saying? Bible study is important. Not just the day that the church do it, but we should be doing it often. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says, study to show thyself approval. Workmen need not be ashamed. Rightly dividing the word of truth. How can you divide something that you don't know nothing about?
And you gotta have a desire. It has to be, we have to start living our lives in a way that people want to know the God we serve. That if I don't see something different about you, I don't want to go to your church. I don't want to follow what you're following. So we have to not be so meek and timid. And you'll have people that are so earthly, so godly on Sunday morning, but they can't speak to somebody all week. They can't give somebody any word of encouragement.
I've experienced that. Many pastors in the Atlanta area have, because I decided to make a decision about my life, they decided that they didn't want to be my friend anymore. You know, but you're still saying to your congregation to love your neighbor as you love yourself, but you don't love me. So how can you tell somebody else what to do when you're not loving me? So you can't preach to somebody something that you won't do. You know, because I need to watch your life. If I'm right or wrong, I'm gonna tell you I'm right or I'm wrong. You just have to decide whether you want to be with me yourself. But still, when you're talking to a congregation, there needs to be some truth about you.
Yes, some transparency, because they can Google it now, y'all. When I tell you, you ain't gotta be you ain't been that saved all your life. Because I promise you, when I look at the 12 disciples, them was some straight up thugs. But they got the job done. Period. So to be on this hiatus that we have arrived and we're untouchable is so unfair, and it really gives you it gives the people a distorted look. They don't feel like they're worthy because you ain't never done nothing in your life. You this, you that. I got this going on. I've done this. I'm not worthy. But if we were actually transparent, I think a lot of people could get free.
Amen.
Something I was thinking about, you know, when you told me the title for the segment, two things that we as people need to do from both perspectives, from both spectrums, from leadership and from the following. We have to treat people the way they are. We can't treat them for who they are, but we have to treat them for where they are. Because everybody's not in a position that I can come tell you how to do this. Sometimes I might be telling you the right thing, but because it's me telling you, you can't receive it. But because somebody else, it's that time for them to tell you, you can receive it. So we as people, we have to get to that place where we build a relationship with God so that when someone is bringing us something, or when, you know, any situation occurs, that we can handle it accordingly. We get caught up in this building, the church, but we the people are the church. So when people say church hurt, you know what I'm saying, it's a fine line for me because it wasn't the church that hurt me. It was somebody in the church that hurt me. So with that being said, I'm not going to not go to church because me and you had a disagreement. Because if me and somebody at work had a disagreement, I'm not going to not go to work. So, you know, we have to get to that place where we kind of separate our feelings from everything.
You got to be able to separate the action from the person. And we do that in our own relationships. And I don't understand why people feel like your relationship with anyone else is going to have to look any different from any other relationship. I'm with my partner. They going to piss me off. They're gonna hurt me
It's a
at some
relationship.
point. It's a relationship, and until you actually relate, you gonna have that ship. And sometimes the ship gonna go this way, and sometimes it's gonna go this way. We just gotta work together to tilt it. So we gotta be able to get to a place where we can have some type of forgiveness. So I thank you guys, Pastor Christine, Pastor Robert. Please make sure you go get his book. His book is called Disappointed. Didn't I say appointed? And I was there from the birthing of this. And this is a powerful, powerful book. And I will make sure that I have a link for you to get it. It is on Amazon. And I will also make sure that you get everybody's Instagram and contact information. And I'm telling you, this man right here is one of the baddest stylists in the A. He takes care of even me. And I'm a hard person to take care of. So please make sure you go follow Mr. Dontez as well. Thank you guys, and we will do this again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was trying to figure out if they was born mother.
Your phone died. Don't look at us. No
I'm
more.
trying to know. Yes, I can.
The whole time on camera, we like, you looking over here and she talking.
Right, because I'm like trying to make sure.
No,
God,
You and this mic.
Just somebody give her a-
that's why I don't.
Come over here.
Listen to Dave talking about baby, you ready?
I'm about to gather myself.
I'm fed up. Look at Dave.
Y'all feel that air.
It feels so good. The air when
Won't
I
he do it? Won't he do it?
She want us to just
All right, I'm behaving myself. All right, I need Yesmeen on the couch.
melt.
Oh, they're back there.
Y'all can't leave. We got to do pictures.
Got you. I'm about to go throw some hair at them.
Okay.
Right. So when I would
Yes. Gracias.
That's what he doing.
Oh.
The little baby just cuts my hair out.
No, my lip gloss.
Oh.
Oh,
Alright, let's keep this straight. So did the mic work?
Yeah.
That's why I'm trying to get y'all to look on Facebook so I can see how it works.
Look at that picture.
Oh, just how it look and how it sound.
Yo, get back on live. Why are you back on live?
Because I want to be online.
Oh, right now. Oh, wow. Looking for the baby.
Frank, let me just come put my head behind you and throw my hair.
That's what you gonna do?
Did you?
Oh,
You should just get your hair. Did you look at the
I
pictures?
can't. It don't come off.
I was giving my hair, but it don't come off.
Oh, don't come.
Hell.
What don't come on?
Yeah, she gonna share it with me.
Hmm.
I don't have my downstairs.
I wish I would have came.
I'm surprised they ain't in that bad.
Right.
Anything else you think about it?
Fast.
That thing already messed up.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you, Jay, to be on live.
Mommy.
Yes. On what couch?
There's a couch right here.
You what?
A chair or something.
Yeah. Woo, it's
Right now?
okay, we ready.
Oh, my mama said the mic's are on.
Mics are on?
Right now.
Well, my house.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh,
Get ready.
I'm ashamed, girl. All right, mama. Love you later, B.
They are on.
They're coming through the speaker. They're not going out.
I'm ready. Yeah. Yeah, mics are on.
Fed up.
All right, here we go. Mic up.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, give me some love. I am here with this amazing author. Introduce yourself to the people.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I am Yesmeen Jiles, the author of From the Pole to the Promise.
Whew, wait a minute, say that one more time.
My book is entitled From the Pole to the Promise, and I do mean the stripper pole.
Oh, Jesus.
Well.
Okay, and yes, it is available. Where is it available? And then we're gonna talk about
Okay.
it. Well, let me get all the disclaimers out there first.
Okay. And you can get this book on Amazon. You just can key in my name, Yesmeen Jiles, Yesmeen Jiles, Jiles, or you can key in From the Pole to the Promise, and it'll come right up.
And you know what? I brought you into this segment because all I kept saying, I was there. doing some of the process, and we've had a couple meetings and we've talked. And God told me when I saw you, He just kept saying you're a finisher. So I knew that it would be out sometime this year, which may not have been exactly when you wanted it out, but this year you got it done. So I want to say congratulations.
Thank you so much. And you're absolutely right. You were there from the beginning. You helped pray this thing to life. So you put guidelines to the book.
Oh, I got so many God babies. Now this one is a good one. So what tell me, let's be honest with the people, because I have a lot of people that tune in that are looking to do things and just the procrastination or restarting or starting over. What was that process? How difficult was it for you to get it finished?
How difficult was it is an understatement, right? I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and at the time of writing the book, I was transitioning from the club, right? So I was struggling with what to write, what not to write. And as a member in the church, I was like, Lord, am I really going to tell these people that I was on my knees and on my back? I know the book is about dancing on the pole, but you know, it's a whole life that's associated with that. And I walked in like, I would never do nothing but dance, but you all know we got a price, right? You say what you want to, but you'll find somebody that'll give you an amount that you can't say no to. So I found myself in those compromising positions. But I have a daughter, and I wanted that generational curse to stop with me. So it was important that I talked about everything, my butt naked secret, because I never wanted nobody in the street to come tell my daughter anything about me. I wanted her to hear from me first. So it was very important for me to finish because it wasn't just for me, it was for her, right? And I have a son too, so I wanted him when he grow up. You know, he may hear stories about his mother where somebody may come tell him that I was a stripper, but he's gonna say, yes, she was, but what else did my mother do? And then from there, he'd be able to take over the conversation.
That's powerful. Oh my God, I got chills. So when in writing something like this, and when it's personal, you go through every emotion.
You relive it. You relive every story. You absolutely do. But you also heal from it, right? I had the opportunity to take my power back. I learned to dance because my granny told me when I was about 10 years old that I sit on the gold mine. And she said, you're a woman and you're beautiful. So every time somebody tell you they're pretty, if they keep saying it, you know, they owe you something. They just can't stand and just be standing in your face and absorbing your company for nothing. And I didn't know what she was doing. You know, she'd put that boombox on the porch, and next thing you know, she's like, go out there and dance. And I just thought I was just dancing. I didn't know that she was setting me up for something, you know, to be on the pole. I didn't know that.
Wow. So tell me, and you do, your daughter is high school. She just graduated.
She's 16 and graduated from high school. Yes.
What?
They talk about what else my mama has done.
And there we go.
And I watch your relationship, and it's absolutely beautiful. So I remember talking with you or hearing you speak previously, and she was instrumental in helping you to change. Tell us about that.
Okay. So we was riding in the car. She was 10 years old at the time. And we just jamming, just casual conversation. And out of nowhere, she's like, Mom, I wish you had a job where I could visit you at work. And I was like, okay, you know, you can't come. We have like Christmas events, you know, where they do like the Toys for Tots. She's like, no, Mom, I wish you had a job where I could tell my friends what you did. Now, I've always been very transparent with my daughter. I told her everything. But we didn't share with everybody else what my job was for real. So she would say, my mom do makeup, I do. She would say, my mom do hair, I do. You know, and she would say, my mom is a server or a waitress, I am. And then we just left the stripping part out of it, right? But at the same token, I didn't want her to be ashamed of anything. I wanted her to be, you know, proud of her mother. So while we were riding in the car, when she said that to me, my first reaction was to backhand her. Like, girl, you'd have been all over the world. I ain't on no real schedule. I get to be where you want me to be. Like, how dare you say that to me? But God knew the only person that could say that to me was my baby. Anybody else before that tried to tell me that you could do so much better, you know, your life could be so much greater, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, I heard none of that. It wasn't until my daughter said, Mommy, could you find a job where I could visit you at work, that I thought about what she said. And I went to school, I got a degree, and I was working so hard to please her that I got the attention of the faculty, the staff. I became the student of the year. I placed top 10 in all 50 technical colleges in the state of Georgia.
Come on now.
Like, the ride has just been amazing, all because my baby spoke like life into me.
And it's crazy because sometimes the God will use what you were sent to save you.
Yeah.
You better say
Woo!
that.
Girl, when I tell
Every
you,
day,
so
every day he has done that. And she looks at me anytime I get opportunities like this. And I would have brought her with me, but it's Sunday, you know, teenagers want to do their own thing on the weekend. But every time she's like, Mom, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. And my promise is I kept my word to my daughter. And God, even though I'm not on that pole no more, I ain't missed no meal. The lights ain't been off. I ain't been without anything. And he truly kept his promise. But I'm proud that I kept my promise to my daughter.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. So in reading this book, whew, when I tell you, now you changed some names and stuff.
I had to change the names,
But,
right?
but there was a lot of family stuff.
Mhm.
How did your family respond?
So the reason why I talked about the family things in there, because I wanted to talk about the women that raised me. So it was important for me to say what I saw growing up to kind of mold me to who I am today. But those women, you know, are upset, you know, but they trailing both sides. Like my mother, who I thought would be most saddened at some of the things, because my mother struggled with drugs and alcohol, so I thought she would be offended that I told the people that. But she wasn't. My grandmother wasn't at all, even though she the one that told me I still in the gold mine. The people that were upset were like some of my cousins, me just sharing, you know, some of the things that we did that we never told nobody else, right? But I changed their name so they would be
So nobody know what you.
but they know
I
because
hear
they
that.
read it and they've been upset about that. And they're like, you know, how dare you tell the world what you was doing outside the strip club. But I want to say some other little girls, you know, some girls that say, I want to be a dancer. And I want to tell them, you can just be a dancer. Don't let these men, you know, keep putting these bands on the table and next thing you know, you sell your soul to the devil. Because even though it takes 5 or 10 minutes, once you share a piece of your soul with somebody intimately, you don't get that back, right? And it's embarrassing for me today, you know, I talk about it in the book. I slept with so many people I wouldn't even be able to name that, right? And I don't want my daughter or any other young girls when they turn 38 to be able to say the same thing, like, you know, I'm ashamed of this. If that's something that they can, you know, take hold of today and not do, I definitely want to stand in the gap where they don't do that.
And you are a pillar of saying what could come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't have to stay right here.
You don't.
So I love the way God uses you in your realness. Because you are. From the moment I've met you, you have always been just real. And I feel like in this season, it's going to take that to change the millennial generation, because they don't want to hear fluff. They want to actually hear from someone that has been through it.
Yeah, and not only that, they need actual, tangible steps. Don't just tell the young girls, you know, stop dancing or stop doing this. Well, what do we do?
Right.
You know, can you do makeup? Okay, well, show them where they can go do makeup. You know, do you like wearing cute outfits? Maybe you could be a stylist. Show them how they can become a stylist. People are so quick to point the finger and tell you what you shouldn't do, but they're not necessarily giving you no options. So that's the problem. So I'm here to stand in the bridge, stand in the gap for that, to say, hey, I'm somebody that made it through. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up, and I'm already grown up, but God is not finished with me.
Well, I think you're doing it. You are definitely living in your purpose, and it shows in everything. The Bible says you will know them by their fruit. By their fruit. And I feel your calling. I feel that you're at peace. And that's powerful, because until you are at peace and in a comfortable space in your own life, you can't really help anybody.
And that was the purpose for my book, right? Like, I'm sorry to, you know, I'm glad this is live where the whole world can see. You know, I apologize to my family that they're hurt by what I wrote, but I needed to heal. And I didn't want those secrets, you know, inside of me, killing me from the inside out. I wanted to be free of that, and I feel so free, you know, and I pray that as this journey continues, you know, that they find a way to free and heal themselves as well.
Yeah, and it's old. The old day, our grandparents would say, what goes on in this house stays in this house.
They say, leave it under the rug.
And it was so much mess. By the time you uncover all of that, everybody needs therapy.
Girl, that was nothing. This was the good stuff. I tried to keep all of that stuff. They still mad.
And they still mad. So now I read a little part about dip in here.
Okay, dip, honey.
Now,
She dipped right on in my life.
Tell me about dip.
Okay.
Because in addition to being a mother, you are a wife of how many years?
Well, it will be 11 years in September.
Now
Right?
that right there is a whole ministry.
Oh yes it is. Oh yes it is. And how that happened is, and it's so funny that you bring up the dip of all things. There's 10 chapters you want to talk about the dip, but that's good. But it just briefly, it was a Thursday night. I was at home minding my own business. One of my friends, it was his birthday, and he had hired a stripper to come perform for him, but the guy stood him up at the last minute. So he called me like, hey, you dance here every weekend, so I know you'll be a good replacement. But he didn't have no money. So I'm like, no, I'm not coming to dance for tips. You want me to get up out my pajamas, come to the club, come dance for nothing. He's begged me. I'm glad I went. I went there. It was a packed crowd for a Thursday, and I was just talking to one of my friends, and somebody just walked past the room and interrupted my whole conversation. I'm like, girl. Like, yo, I swear to God, and even though it's been 11 years, like, she took my breath away, like literally. So I panicked. I didn't know what to do because I'm not an initiator. I'm not an approacher, right? So I was like, oh, what I'm doing? I'm like, here, girl, take my phone, go get the number, and I ran. So I went in the back to get dressed, ready for my show. I'm like, oh, this show's gonna be insane. Now, like, I gotta see what was. I walked through the crowd, and everybody's standing there with their $1 bills ready for me, and she's standing off to the side with a $5 bill, right? I was like, oh. She got a 5. Everybody else got 1. I was like, okay. I started dancing, and I don't know where she became a part of my show. She picked me up. She started dancing with me. I was like, oh my God, this is too much for me, right? So the show's over. I hurry up. I run to the back. I get dressed, and I'm hurrying up because I'm trying to get back to my friend to see if she got the number in the phone because I want to hurry up before she leaves. So as I'm standing there talking, I'm like, girl, did you? Before she can answer me, somebody tapped my shoulder, and I turn around, and it's the dip. I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? She's like, can I see your phone? So I hand her my phone, and she's like, I just put my number in this phone. So I start teasing her, like, so you give anybody your number? Like, dang, you didn't make sure it was me? She's like, no, I'm a barber. So when she asked me for my number, she didn't give me no details. She just asked for the number. Y'all, she was like, I told her that my ex was coming through the door. I didn't want no drama. You know, we could talk later now that we didn't exchange numbers. She said, no, if you leaving, I'm leaving. We go outside. We both was parked in front of the club. I was driving a 4-door Grand Dam. She was driving a 2-door Grand Prix. We sit in the car and started talking. Y'all, that was 11 years ago. We've been together since the day we met. We left the club together and been together ever since. Like, and I call her the dip because she just dipped in my life. Like, I had just went through a terrible breakup, right? Very abusive, just ridiculous. And I was like, I ain't being with nobody never again, right? And I don't know how it happened. And as I was trying to fight her way, like I'm a dancer, I'm a stripper, sometimes I prostitute, my family crazy, my mama a junkie, my father been in prison. This is not what you want. You deserve somebody way better than me. Problems. She said, no, I see a light in you that one day I'll be able to watch you transition out of all of that. And when I tell you she spoke this life into me before I even knew it would be possible. So I thank her every single day that she loved me through it all. She never judged, and I don't know how she put up with me, y'all. Nothing but God could send me somebody to be able to put up with me and all that I got going on. So the dip is amazing. The dip did right on in my life, and I need
The dip is my friend.
The dip is everything I need.
When you
Get you a dip.
I'm so weak.
I want to thank you. Please give us your Instagram so that we can follow.
Oh yeah, my Instagram is I am Yesmeen, just like that. The letter IAMYESMEEN.
And we're gonna make sure we get her back again. I got more questions.
Anytime. Thank you so much for having me. And the
Anytime.
first segment you were talking about church hurt, I just really appreciate that as a woman of the church and all the other things that you do, that you would get somebody like me with the lifestyle that I have, an opportunity to share my story, because a lot of people would not do that. I'm connected to a lot of people at my church that have the same platform, and they wouldn't dare do what you're doing for me. And know that I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
My door is always open.
Thank you
have
so
my
much.
direct dial number. Anything you need to push this to the next level, I'm here.
And you've been saying that, and you have definitely followed through with everything you said. Thank you, babe.
Love you, babe. It's your girl, DJ Shantae. I'll be right back.
Thank you. But I'm so serious. Like, all my friends, like, I never reach out to nobody to ask nothing. I know you have this show. I know you do a lot of things. I would have never. Right, but I would have never asked. I'm a person, like, my problem is because I don't ask. But the one or two times that I did ask, and they're like, okay, I got you. They never follow through. So this big. Okay, this big.
Kierica, y'all ready? Let's get this.
Let's
Let's
get
get
this
this.
for the next person.
That's all right. Let's get this game thing going.
Come on, Dayton. Yes, you do.
Oh, friend.
Come on, now.
Hey, Bill.
I didn't know
This the girl, y'all.
Hey, Jeff.
Before you go,
Torian.
Okay.
Doc, I'm gonna have you on this side.
I just seen my lady at the
Doc,
table.
yeah, you my expert.
Okay. All
What you
right.
crying for?
What's
Why
wrong
you
with
act like you don't know my life story?
Oh, you have
What you did?
what?
My bitch at the gate.
Just the big one. And we have a that's why we late. I make a phone like, what you going nowhere? I just keep on uncovering new layers about her every day. I have no idea.
I was so blind, I just couldn't see the hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to talk to anyone who has a book before they leave. Not like
Hey. It's your girl Deidre Shantae. Thank you. I am back live in the studio here at Status Network. I'm excited. This has been fun already. Like I love to talk. I love to talk anyway.
Yeah.
But this segment we're gonna open up some things, and I need some help. I need some help from my young folk because I don't know if I'm single. That's the question mark. However, I know my last relationship was a year and a half ago. So I need to understand these labels. Okay. I need to understand these labels. So I have my experts. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. First, this beautiful, fine gentleman beside me, my age group goon,
Alright, I go by Bebe the barber.
which is
My real name's Torian, but I prefer Bebe.
see, how do you date a baby? Like, okay, go ahead.
But yeah,
Tell them what you do, baby.
oh yeah, like I said, I'm a barber, also entrepreneur. I got a couple barber shops, clothing line, working on the school. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on right now. But mainly, like I said, the barber shop, school, clothing line, stuff like that.
Yay! And are you single, attached, dating? What are you? You know I'm gonna ask you tough questions.
I'm talking to somebody right now.
Okay, we're gonna talk about what is that? What does that mean? Well, okay, we're gonna get to that. Put a comma there. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Key Erica. I'm a senior actress model, and I'm always in this play.
Yes, because she is the mom.
Yes, I am Tangy.
Yes,
But,
she said it straight.
And I'm a relationship expert.
I am Stephanie Rochelle, and I support women in building healthy relationships. So that you can move forward and renew clarity, mindset, and fearless determination.
Ooh, and she's a whole author, y'all.
Yes.
A cracked egg.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so now you said you're talking to somebody. Okay, so now this is what confuses me because you meet them, then you talk to them, then you date them, then you date them exclusively, then you in a relationship. But at what point, what are the rules? Like, if I'm talking to you, can I talk to somebody else? If I'm dating you and we're not dating exclusively, do I get to date somebody else? Do I have to tell you? Like, what are these boundaries and rules? Like, where's the book on this?
I feel like it depends on that person. Okay, some people choose, like I say, talking to, because I have other stuff going as far as business-wise and stuff like that, where I can't focus on that person 100%.
So is that person allowed to talk to other people?
If they want to, but with the situation that I have with the person that I'm talking to, we have an understanding. Hey, we're gonna become best friends first. So she understands pretty much everything I have going on. She's right there, right by my side. It's not more of, hey, I'm talking to this person or she's talking to that person. It's understanding that, hey, I'm working on this, we working on that. Now, I feel like once you commit, something has to take time away from something. And right now, I'm honestly too focused on success as far as building my business to commit 100% on a relationship. It's not mainly because I want other women, it's mainly because I just got these goals I want to accomplish first.
But he already has an understanding.
But so was that a conversation that y'all
Yeah,
had?
you gotta have that conversation.
That there was a conversation where you said, we're talking, I'm working on this, I'm working on that, but you're free to talk to whoever you want to talk to.
Oh, you
No,
get
he
that.
didn't say that.
You get that.
I know, I'm trying. I never got any clarity.
No, you get. Of course, you give that person the option because you don't want somebody to wait on you. But you know what I'm saying. If that bond is there, that person will understand. I understand what this person got going through. This is the person I want. I know he's focused on goals, and I'm gonna help him achieve the goal faster, so we can be in a committed relationship.
Okay, so now that's where I have the problem. So she's gonna help you get to your goals faster. So now you want the benefits of a relationship without a relationship. Because I'm not working on your goals if we're together. I ain't got that kind of time.
Listen.
Like, how do you do that? Like, what?
So is
You want me to be a wife?
No, it's not bad.
Without being a wife.
I want you to be my friend.
No, we be friends.
Come on,
and I'm not gonna help
Come
you.
on, friend. Come on, friend. So now we're building all of this up. I'm helping you to evolve into and then your light bulb blow off and you decide it ain't about me. Now it's on to this person. But you was my friend.
Yeah, nah.
But let me say one thing, okay? Because if she's buying it though.
Right, and that's the problem.
I mean, people.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I done bought some pipe dreams too in my life. I ain't gonna say I'm
real to get there.
I done had to be there,
and then she be like,
listen, if she's accepting that, people are gonna do what you allow.
And right here in the ATL, girl, they selling some pipe dreams.
What does commitment mean to y'all?
Commitment means
what's the difference?
We are exclusive and building something together.
Yes.
Okay. So
you ain't there.
She didn't get the letter that she was exclusive.
Listen.
You know I'm working with you. You know I'm gonna get there.
What I'm saying, okay, exclusive. I'm not saying that we're not exclusive because I want other women. I'm saying I'm
not because. What is the problem? If you know this is the person that you want to build and you want her to help you grow your business and help you evolve, why not commit to the relationship?
Okay, when do y'all know that the person's? Because I commit to marry. I don't commit just to date. So what about
all that? What?
So
when do we know? I missed the question.
Okay, so you say, okay, you meet a person, y'all hang out for 3 months. How do you know that's the person you want to spend the rest of your life with?
From what I understand, men know.
Yeah.
We're waiting on y'all.
We're waiting all the time.
And so unless you come to me and tell me something, then I have the ability, the right to do whatever it is that I want to do because you have not stepped up and earned your position.
I feel like I need to throw an offering.
I'm not about to play with you.
You know, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying this, right? Okay, do you date exclusively to marry, or you date just to have somebody to talk to?
Well, for instance, for me, I married my high school sweetheart and was out here a long time married and got divorced and had to get back in these streets. So because of the age that I was coming back in these streets, I was intentional about what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have time to figure out if I was first, second, third, or whatever. I'm going to see if I'm not first, because you're going to let me know if I'm first. So if I'm not first, again, I'm doing whatever it is that I need to do to keep it moving.
But then that's a problem. That's a problem in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, there's a problem.
There's a problem.
I know my husband is not here. Okay? That's a fact. And men always know what they want. Like, they know what they want. They talk to who they want to talk to. Yeah. They go out with who they want to go out with. And if he's not going out with you, you're not the one.
Somebody sent me a meme. Someone sent me a meme and it said, women sleep with who they want to. Men sleep with who they can't.
That's a fact.
Yeah, mature men do that. A mature man knows what he wants to.
Absolutely.
All right.
I agree. A mature man knows what he wants.
This is true, but if
but then if you're dealing with somebody that's gonna go
with
for
a pizza, come on, men want so much.
For nothing.
Not even just men, because if you dating a woman, two women, it ain't the same, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't know who told y'all it was.
I'm gonna tell you what a man wants to date and marry his best friend.
Right.
How many best friends you get?
He don't want to marry a girl who nags all the time, who constantly is in their ear. Be my best friend.
Yeah.
Like I want to.
I agree.
Go to the strip club. be the girl I want to go strip club with, so I don't have to go with nobody.
Okay, unless a woman is like seriously hiding, you're gonna know if she's an actor. You're gonna know. She's gonna be like, oh, you ain't.
It's something the way she carries
It's
herself.
it's the way she carries herself, and it's just the way that she talks to you. You're gonna know if she's an actor.
Yeah,
You
that's easy.
We want to marry our best friend too.
We want to marry our best friend, but we also want a certain level. Because for me, I'm a Scorpio, and that's good and bad. Because if it's not stated, it's just not understood.
Yeah, I need clarity.
That's right.
Listen.
I need clarity. Like, don't just say, "Oh yeah, we working on something."
Okay, prime example. You're
What you
busy.
working on?
She's busy.
Very much so.
She has to be intentional about who she's talking to, what she's doing. She ain't got time. So if you ain't got time to step up and let her know that she's first, you're wasting her time. You in her way.
But sometimes I can say, coming out of other relationships, there was a period of season where it was okay to not be intentional.
Right.
But it's like well, it depends, because you get into situations where they'll say, okay, well, this is what we're doing. But then when you mirror what they doing, you're a woman. You're not supposed to do that. But wait a minute. I ain't got no ring. I ain't got what? I ain't got no time. What you mean? I was supposed to tell you I was with. Why
You just did that.
Everybody.
Listen, I need a surety and security.
A surety.
A surety.
Yeah.
Security.
Now, with communication, how hard is it to communicate?
Oh,
No, it's not. It's not. Okay, when you meet somebody, when you meet that person, you put it on the table in the beginning. Hey, this is what I got going. Hey, we can build towards your relationship and commitment, but right now I'm looking for my best friend. Let's hang out. Let's do all these things. I'm not going to necessarily talk to anybody else. If you choose to talk to somebody,
wait a minute.
I'm just.
So are y'all having without sex? There you go.
What you talking about with the person?
Are you with the person you having sex with, but she just your friend?
Every situation is, every relationship, everything is different. It's about how those people can communicate and come up with an agreement that suits them.
You're right, friend.
Every relationship is going to be absolutely different.
You're right.
What works for you might not work for me. What works for you might not work for her.
And I have the right to say I'm out.
That's a fact.
You do.
And you have to know. And you have to have your own self-worth to be able to say, this ain't gonna work for me. Because I know what I want, and if you're not ready, let me go. Or let me see what my 2 or 3 is working with.
Right.
Because you gotta come
that's
out
where
of
the problem
you gotta come out of the number
they
one
can talk
side.
to other people, but you can't.
Listen,
absolutely.
And the gag is they don't understand that we're choosing to talk to them. I am choosing you.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm choosing you. They got about 65 feet up in my phone. And I'm choosing to deal with you, and you getting on my nerves.
But have you ever asked yourself why he's not choosing you?
I mean, no, I haven't. Well, I've grown a little bit.
It might be something that you think you're doing, but you're not.
If he's not choosing me, then leave me alone.
No, you leave him
Leave
alone.
him alone. See?
I have. No, I have.
Because you are good.
Me too.
I
am
good.
We in the same.
Amazing.
At least we go.
What does a title do?
What?
A title.
A title. Okay. So for me, a title clearly defines the roles. I am no longer willing to give pieces of me that I need or that I can invest into someone that I'm going to be with. You see, especially guys, y'all gotta realize these are all brands.
Yeah.
We bosses.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So what you have to offer is valuable. It's only 24 hours in a day. Right now I run 5 companies. So if I've got time, effort, and energy to put, and when I date, I give that person. They get my energy. If I'm growing, you growing. Well, we got this. What you mean? Because that's the type of person I am. Right. But I'm no longer willing to do that into situationships. Because I think that's what we've gotten into now. Yeah. Okay, so you do this well. You do this well. Okay, we might be friends with benefits, but since you do this, I'm gonna let you do this, and this for me.
The times have changed,
baby.
I understand that. Trust me, I definitely understand it. But every situation, once again, can be different.
Well, like I know you. You like to travel.
Yeah.
Are you buying them a ticket at a time?
Of course.
And this is at the talking stage.
Of course. Of course.
Be Because he's still gonna get what he wants,
Right.
so of course he's buying it.
So is there
Ah.
so if you're doing all the things,
What's the ticket?
so if you're doing all the things,
She should know me, huh?
if you're doing all of the relationship commitment type things, what is the fear
Of the title.
Sometimes once you put that, okay, this is what it is. You're dating somebody, talking to somebody, once you say, hey, we're fully, that's when the insecurities kick in, that's when the nagging kicks in, that's when, have you ever hung out?
So it's like giving them a right to
Okay,
nag?
let me give you an example. You ever had a friend of the opposite sex that y'all can hang out, you never really looked at him like that, and then one day it clicks like, yo, let's try to do this. Then y'all fall out and hate each other because you put that
So it's
title
that
on it.
fear.
No, you put that title on it. With the title comes the expectations.
I think it's the
See,
person
that's
that
the
you're
problem.
dealing with.
See, with the
I
time,
think it's the person that you're
with
dealing
my
with.
time comes expectation.
Hello?
Yeah.
You want to know where I'm at? Why? You're expecting me to answer the phone when you call? That's an expectation.
You want me to be available, right?
Even in the person I talk, I let her know
Because
everything
we
I'm
best
doing.
friends.
That's right.
I
Y'all
even,
friends?
So what's the
even-
difference between the title of being a husband and wife than being, what's the difference? That's the title, right?
Yeah, I think only difference between a relationship, to me, this is my personal opinion. I feel like dating and getting married is just a commitment to God. Instead, a relationship should not switch up from after you get married.
It shouldn't. I agree with you. 100%.
A marriage is a commitment to God. That same once I say, hey, she's my girlfriend or whatever, it should be the same commitment as if we're married.
Right.
Right.
The only thing difference with that, besides our verbal commitment, is a commitment to God. That's the only thing changed with marriage. That's my personal opinion. So if I say, hey, you my girlfriend, technically I'm treated as though we're married. So when we're married, nothing changes.
That's right.
That's a fact.
So I take my time to make sure the person I date is the person I'm going to marry.
Yes. And it's fine with taking your time, but I can still be your girlfriend if you want me to be around.
Right. If
Yeah.
you want, no, if you have
If you
certain
want me to be around.
Not
expectations.
just your best friend.
Not just
Yeah.
your best friend.
So Key, when was the last relationship?
Oh, girl. About about 4 years. But listen, all for good reason, because I just cannot jump into a relationship and it don't be right. That's it.
Absolutely.
Right.
I need to be.
That's being intentional.
Yeah, being very intentional, and I know where I'm going, so I just listen. If you cannot add and you're just taking away from me, I don't have time for that at all. No time.
And we have to step our value system up. So what is it that you look for? Real quick, Torian and Key, what do you look for in a mate or in a girlfriend, boyfriend?
My main thing, honestly, in the past relationships that I had, I'm a very creative person and I have amazing ideas. Like I had to be able to sit that person down. I had to be able to no TV on, no lights on, nothing physical. Me spit my dreams to you and you understand them. You can see my vision as though I see them. And also, don't agree with everything I'm saying. Pick out the things that are wrong, but see what I see and say, I understand what you're trying to do, and I can see what you're trying to do, and I can help you get there. It's a mental connection. Not necessarily
Okay,
it's a
right.
mental connection.
Baby, this your TT. I need you to listen to some of their dreams too.
Of course.
A little, so.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No.
But that's what you just said. They need to be able to listen to my dreams.
No, you said what do I look for in a partner? A person that can sit there and
Listen to your dreams.
Your dream.
yeah. You gotta tell your person your dreams, and they
I
have to
mean, we
understand.
can talk about our dreams. Oh, our dreams.
No, he said what he said. Okay, Kiara, what are you looking for, Key?
I am looking for, well, I'm really not looking for anything actually right now.
Okay.
But if I were to go out and seek, well, I would want my husband to find me.
There you go.
I got a lot going on. All right. So I would want him to be very ambitious, business-minded, loyal, caring, very loving, hilarious, because I like to clown. And just a man of God first. I should say that first. You gotta be right, because if you don't love God, you don't love nobody.
Right. Know how to love anybody.
So and just listen to how to love me, because everybody don't want to be loved, the same.
Same way.
So I want to be able to sit down and figure out what ways he would want me to love him and what ways I want to be loved.
Good. Love it. Real quick, Stephanie, tell us how to locate you.
Stephanie Rochelle Consulting. That's on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, and how do we locate you?
Baby the Barber, BAEBAEDA Barber.
Love it. And Kiara, can you sing me out, please? Can
What would you like me to say?
Whatever you want to, songbird.
Yay. And her name is me, and she loves me more than you'll ever know. And I finally see that loving you and loving me just don't seem to work at all. So patiently, she's waiting on me to tell you that she needs love, and then choose between you two. Boy, you know if I have to choose, I choose me.
Woo! Guys, this is about DJ Shantae, and this is another episode of Unleashed Talk TV right here at the Status Network on Global Vision. I thank you for tuning in. We will rebroadcast the show all week, and I'll be back here live in the studio in 2 weeks. God bless you. Woo!